Qolbi.
And with me, Yulia.
Take your lovely seat. Pay attention to us and enjoy our slide.
My map of narrative text, and the first is definition of narrative text. The second is text structure. The third, language feature. And the fourth, social function. The fifth, kind of text. And the sixth, example. And the seventh, review. Let's move to the next slide. Definition of narrative text is a kind of text that presented to a reader by writing, spoken, or moving pictures.
And then now we are going to the text structure. Narrative texts have four text structure. The first structure is orientation. Orientation is just like the introduction, which is the main characters, the setting, the time of the story are introduced. It answers the who, when, and where questions, and it usually takes place in the first paragraph. And then the second structure is complication. Complication is about the problems which involve the main characters in the story develop. People usually call this part is the climax. And then the next structure is resolution. Resolution is about how the problems are solved, which is better or worse. It could be happy ending or sad ending. And the structure is the reorientation. Reorientation is the conclusion of the final content of the story, or we can call this the moral values.
Then we go to the language feature. The first is we can use past tense and also present tense. Then the second is use noun phrases and adjectives like your temple or a beautiful princess. And then use conjunction like then, and, after, that, next, etc. And also temporal conjunction like once upon a time, or one day, or a long time ago. And then the fifth is use adverbial phrases of time and place like in the garden or 3 days ago. And then use action verb like walk or slept. And then the specific characters like Cinderella, Snow White, Alibaba, and etc. And the last is direct speech like Snow White said, "My name is Snow White."
Let's move to social function. The social function of narrative text. There are to tell story about something or someone. The second is to entertain the reader, to hold reader's interest, and the third to motivate the reader.
And then now is the kind of narrative text. Actually, there are so many kind of narrative text, but I just want to give some example. Some of them. The first is legends. The second is fairy tales, and then folk tales. The fourth is myths. The fifth is fables. The sixth is contemporary creation like Harry Potter. The seventh is historical narrative, and the last is personal experiences. Now, it's the example of our narrative text. The title is
The Smartest
Smartest
Parrot.
Parrot. Enjoy!
Once upon a time, a man had a wonderful parrot. There was no other parrot like it. The parrot could say every word except one word. The parrot wouldn't say the name of the place where it was born. The name of the place was Katana. The man felt very excited having the smartest parrot, but he couldn't understand why the bird wouldn't say katano. The man tried to teach the bird to say katano, however the bird kept to not saying the word.
At the first, the man was very nice to the bird until he got very angry because the bird cannot say katana. Then he shouted to the bird like, say katana or I will kill you.
One day, after he had been trying so many times to make the parrot say katana, the man got really angry. He couldn't bear it, and then he picked the parrot and then threw it into the chicken house. There were 4 chickens for the next dinner. You are as stupid as the chicken. Just stay with them, said the man angrily. Then he continued to humble. You know, I will cut the chicken for my meal, and next it will be your turn. I will cut you and eat you too, stupid parrot. And then he left the chicken house.
The next day, the man came back to the chicken house. And he opened the door and was very surprised. He couldn't believe what he saw at the chicken house. There were 3 dead chickens on the floor, and the parrot was standing proudly and screaming in front of the last old chicken and saying, "Say katano or I'll kill you."
Let's review this narrative text. First is orientation. There is character and setting in orientation. I will talk about character. Character of a man is grumpy and forced, and a bird is smart but stubborn. And the setting is in the man house, in the bird cage, and in the chicken house. The second is complication. There is climax in complication. The climax is how hard the man tried to teach the bird to say katano. And the third resolution. The resolution is the parrot who said the word which the man wanted, but with high degree than the man. Thank you very much for your nice attention.
If you find any mistake, we beg your pardon.
The last we say,
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.